Hello and welcome to Behind the Music for Daily Hope. It is great to be back with you here at the organ at Victory. I know we've had a couple weeks of some of the greatest hits for Daily Hope that we had over 2023, but now I'm back live and in person and sharing with you some of the things that are going to be taking place this weekend at worship. First, I want to let you know about a couple events that are coming up that I hope you'll be a part of, either here in person or they will be live streamed. There's going to be a concert on Wednesday the 31st at 7 p.m. This is the Choir of the West from Pacific Lutheran University. And then on February 3rd at 2 o'clock, which is a Saturday, we have a choir right from here in the Southwest. They've been singing together for about 36 years under the direction of Dr. Kristin. So 2 choral concerts, both free. They will be live streamed. If you can make it in person, that's great. If not, still be a part of us online. So we're in a new sermon series for a couple of weeks now called Kingdom, Power, and Glory. And we've been going through the attributes of how that applies to God, to Jesus, his power, his majesty, his glory. And so this weekend, Pastor Todd's going to be preaching about Jesus casting the many demons out of the man and then allowing them to go into the pigs. And the power that he had, that the people were afraid of him. They actually said, go away. They didn't want somebody with that much power amongst them. But the man who was healed was very appreciative and really wanted to follow Jesus. So I was planning worship based on this text and going over what we might use in worship. And I read through the words for God of grace and God of glory. This is a hymn that I've always loved, but there was something about reading it in the context of Jesus' power and the healing of someone who'd been possessed by a legion of demons and reading some of these words. And it was just really powerful. So I'd like to read you those words. God of grace and God of glory, on your people pour your power. Crown your ancient church's story, bring its bud to gracious flower. Grant us wisdom, grant us courage for the facing of this hour. And then the third verse, cure your children's warring madness, bend our pride to your control. Shame our wanton, selfish gladness, rich in things and poor in soul. Grant us wisdom, grant us courage, lest we miss your kingdom's goal, lest we miss your kingdom's goal. So I looked up a little bit about the author of this poem. And Harry Fosdick was a really well-known preacher and author in the 20th century. He was so well known that Rockefeller Jr. went to him and said, I want you to be the pastor of my church in Park Avenue, New York City. And Fosdick said, I don't want to be known as the rich people's pastor. He said, I really want to serve everybody. And so Rockefeller Jr. said, all right, I will build you a church in Riverside. And so they built a $5 million non-denominational ecumenical. Fosdick wanted to serve everybody, rich, poor, people who were from all different walks of life, educated and non. He wanted it to be a place where you didn't have to say you were Baptist or you were Lutheran or whatever. He just wanted it to be a church where people felt welcome. And that was very important at this time because he was serving during the Depression. He started preaching there in 1930. And it said there was rarely an empty seat in this space that sat 2,500 people. So Rockefeller built him this church. Fosdick, Time magazine wrote that he was the most well-known living preacher at the time. And they wrote about him several times in Time magazine. He was actually on the cover of Time. So very influential preacher through his writings, through his Sunday radio show. People all over got to hear him speak and be influenced by his desire to make the world a better place. Now, he wanted to retire when he got to 65, and the church said, please stay on. This was during the middle of World War II. They thought that the spiritual needs of people during this warring time, which sort of makes a little bit of sense when you read the words, what he was dealing with as he was serving the people of New York City. So great words. I think it really applies to what we're going to be doing in worship this weekend. And if you have some time, go ahead and read some old Time magazine articles. I found it really interesting to learn more about this man. So I hope you enjoy this hymn. He originally said it to be used to the tune Regent Square, and that's what we would sing, Angels from the Realms of Glory. That's what he was thinking when he wrote the words. More well known now, we sing it to a Welsh tune. So that's the tune that we more commonly associate it with. I looked through several hymnals, and that's the one that it's been published with. That's the one that we know. But he wrote it to be used as a processional hymn at his church. So we'll be singing that this weekend. Think about the words, think about the power of God and how fortunate we are to belong to a kingdom like that. I'll be back with you again next week.